by my front door, and I'm miles and miles from the nearest store. Pot full of crabs looking fat and sweet, killer voices at my feet, living on Chesapeake time.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Laugh Smartly on WGMD's 98.5, the Talk of Delmarva. Here we are, St. Patrick's Day weekend, or what is unofficially St. Patrick's Day weekend. I believe it's been moved from March 17th to March 14th. I know we'll come on to that in just a moment, but good to see you guys, Mr. Fun, Lucky, myself, Biff. We see ourselves on camera.
Good to see you, Biff.
Obviously, you're listening on the radio, you can't see any of us. But if you go to YouTube, you can see us if you'd like to see what we look like. And our me and Lucky are sporting some Laugh Smartly swag. You know, he's fully adorned. I'm only adorned on my chest. And Mr. Fun looks like he's been a mime. I think he's got a black background. That's right. He does his jazz hands.
We're shown in color. He's shown in black and white.
I'm cutting a glass cube right now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Anyways, Rockfish let us in with Chesapeake time once again. I also have somewhere behind me. I have a Scotty's decal. I don't have a bottle in front of me, but Scotty's vodka. Our friend Scotty and his vodka from Frederick, Maryland. Maryland made amazingly smooth. So we are again big supporters of Scotty. We're going to jump right into it, Ms. Fun. Do you have a joke of the week to start off the show?
I do. I don't know if you guys have read this story, but there's there was a special birthday today. There was a baby born 21 years ago that had it was only a head. It was only a head, and it lived for 21 years. And for his 21st birthday today, his dad took him to a bar, and he had his first shot ever. And he shot it, and miraculously, a torso popped out of him. And then he took another shot, and 2 arms popped out of him. And then he took another shot, 2 arms, a torso, and a leg, and 2 legs popped out of him. And unfortunately, he was so drunk, he staggered off the bar stool into the street and got hit by a truck. And everybody at the bar said he should have quit when he was ahead.
Jeez.
All right.
I honestly was like, where is this going? I just, it's very good. It's very funny.
That reminds me of like little girls who had the baby doll, and it was their baby, their favorite baby doll, never could, get rid of it. And the only thing that was left of it after it deteriorated was the plastic head, and they would carry that around. Yeah.
Lucky, was that like you and your G.I. Joe dolls? Right?
I did take the heads off of G.I. Joes because I was curious what was inside there,
What do you think, they were going to be guts?
I have no idea. I was just curious what was in there. And I'd put the heads back on.
Yeah, tangent. Do the game Operation. Do you all played that?
Yes.
Do kids play that game today? Does that game exist?
My kids had it, and they're in their 20s.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if anybody my daughter wanted me to remind her what backgammon was. He goes, what is that again? Which game is backgammon? I'm like, oh no. I think computers and screens have just replaced that kind of stuff.
You don't have you don't have game nights with your family?
No. They're out drinking.
you don't play games until you turn 70, when you start playing Mahjong and card games and that kind of thing, chess and backgammon and whatever. So maybe
right.
Yeah. We're not quite 70 yet, Lucky, but what, national days or something we do on this show. What are the national days this week?
Quite a few popular, significant ones this weekend. Okay. So on the 14th, which is Saturday, is Pi Day. So of course it's PI, which is the mathematical constant 3.14, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Which is in schools. I think it's actually a cool little, tradition that in math class, they have kids bringing actual pies, and they do a little celebration around this number, and there's all these contests around it and stuff like that.
And what's the most famous equation that pi is used on? It's pi r squared. That is
circumference.
Circumference, right?
Yeah.
Circumference. So pi r squared. So, and Mr. Fun, now that you've realized that there's not an E on the end of the pi.
Yeah. No, that was a famous guy he was a knight with King Arthur who could only walk in circles. He was circumference.
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 Hey,
what's your favorite pie, Mr. Fun?
I don't know, but it reminds me of that song, when an eel hits your eye like a big pizza pie. That's amore.
An eel?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's amore.
Amore. Oh, jeez.
Not easy.
Jeez, I walked right in.
This joke thing is not easy.
So on pi itself, 3.14. I did look it up. There's an unofficial record. There's some guy, Japanese guy, memorized it to 100,000 digits.
Wow.
Memorized it.
No
That's
way.
crazy.
Right? Took him 16 hours to say it all. But the Guinness Book of World Record is 70,000 digits of pi.
Yeah, those
That-
guys were
That's
probably
such a
real
waste of time.
popular. Real popular with the ladies. I'm sure.
I'm sure they are.
That's such a waste of time.
It is a
I
waste
don't know.
of time.
To set that
don't-
world record.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and at what point does it not even, at what point do the digits really not matter? Obviously, 3.14 is pi r squared, right? That's what you use to get that. Like, is it 10 digits that makes that accuracy 99.9999% or something? Why? It doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'd
Favorite
much
pie?
rather
Favorite
have
pie
the
you
world
ever-
record for eating the most pie.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Wonder
Uh,
what
you had-
that is.
Yeah.
You asked me, Lucky, what my favorite pie was. I think I'm boring with this. Not to be funny. Like, I really think it's apple pie. I think apple pie is my favorite pie.
Oh.
Put a
What
scoop
about
of
you,
ice
Biff?
cream on there.
I would probably opt for apple pie given the choice of apple pie versus pumpkin pie, but I do like cherry pie. I do like that. I will admit that. But I like it with a crust. I do like a pie with a crust on the top, not like a cream pie or something like that. I do like a
Yeah.
pie with crust on top.
Well, I think going to last thing on this pie stuff, apple and pumpkins seem to be present. You know, they have the market cornered. But I was looking at the flavors of pies, but like a sweet potato pie is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Coconut cream pie is pretty darn good. Key lime is pretty darn good.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's hard to go wrong. It's really hard to go wrong with pie. I
Right.
would say that. So anyway,
Right.
Good.
National Potato Chip Day today on the 14th as well, which is crazy. I saw the stat. Americans eat 2 billion pounds of potato chips each year, which is about 5.5 pounds per person, which is a lot of chips.
Although that seems light. I seem like I eat like 25 pounds of potato chips a year, but 5.5 pounds. Yeah, that's
That's
impressive.
in a year?
In a
In a
year.
year. What do you think is better for you / worse for you? Potato chips or French fries?
Worse for you is French fries.
Okay.
Really?
You think potato chips are better for you?
I think it depends how what they're cooked in, but there's so much more oil on French fries.
Yeah.
I would think.
Of course, the original is like the most popular. 33% of potato chip sales are the plain salted kind. Okay. Sour cream number 2. And it's usually the number 1 in like consumer preference though surveys, like because people like that combo. Whoever invented sour cream and onion flavor, that guy should be a gajillionaire because that's a great combo flavor.
Yeah.
Barbecue. What do you go for? Barbecue or sour cream and onion if you're going flavored?
Sour cream and onion.
Yeah, I'd probably go sour cream and onion, but I don't even do that much anymore. I actually like dill pickle. I think those are very good. I like the jalapeno chips. I think they are they have crept up into my my world.
In honor of St. Patrick's Day, how many potatoes does it take to kill a bunch of Irish people? 0. So bad. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
So
that is awful.
that is
I
bad.
I'm like, what?
Happy St. Patrick's Day to all the Irish people out there.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll get to that in a second. So Lay's had these contests. Tell me if you would even touch these. These do us a flavor contest where they wanted like people to come up with like interesting flavors of potato chips. Cappuccino potato chips, chicken and waffle flavor potato chips, biscuit and gravy chips. Any of that like interests you? Cucumber flavor potato chips? Any of that?
I've been to the UK a lot in my life, and there's a company called Walker's, which I think is the Lay's equivalent in the UK. They had a lot of weird flavors, shrimp, they had flavors like that, and they used to have beef flavored potato chips. So going back to your biscuits and gravy one, I'm not sure that sounds like the worst thing I would ever have in my life. So I might try that one. I will say that.
The ketchup chips is one of the other ones.
Oh,
Extremely popular in Canada.
Okay.
For whatever that's worth. So
which is something I wouldn't eat. Between potato chips and Lucky on a Friday night, they're both half in the bag.
Okay. Good one.
I do. Do you like it? And Lucky and I had spent some time in Florida last week. We had hamburgers they were made in the where we were staying.
Yeah.
I put potato chips on my burger. Do you like potato chips on your burger? No, Mr. Fun?
I do that. I put potato chips on my peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
So did I. I did that last week, as a matter of fact. Do you like that, Mr. Fun? Do you like potato chips on a PB&J?
No.
Really?
I don't like the textures change. Hey, I have fallen in love with Uncrustables recently.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, it's a new passion of mine. Uncrustables.
That's a. Remember, we were told that big in NFL locker rooms.
Really?
Because for halftime.
That's why I like them. I'm an athlete.
You are. As some of the recent social media posts have shown you with, suns out, guns out, Mr.
Yes.
Yeah.
From last week's. Let's just talk about the manliness draft. I think it's a consensus is I did pretty well again.
Yes, we will have another host draft. I think Biff is like 4 for 4 with winning our host drafts, all the ones we've done over the last couple of months. But for those who listened last week, we like the manly traits who would have we did a draft, and Biff's good fighter, 6-pack abs, charisma, and singer/guitar player manly characteristics. What seemed to win? Which I'm like, you got to be kidding.
Well, I came away with my head down on that because, look, you with manly facial hair and working the barbecue.
Yeah,
I conceded to that. Like, I honestly think that I can't compete with that.
But you're leaving out my 2 best mechanical skill and best rat with the ladies.
I
mean, come on.
Yeah. I thought you were strong.
Yeah, you were really strong, just not strong enough.
Wait,
so,
I think a lot of Biff's friends voted. So they were like,
I actually was surveying a bunch of different people.
Yeah,
and I think the unscientific poll gave him the lead, gave him again. But this week we're going to do this later in the show, but I think I'm going to get you guys on this next one. So,
all right.
But to close out anniversaries on Sunday, Ides of March, historically significant day in the Roman calendar. Again, what was it? Beware the Ides of March.
A tu Brute, right?
Yeah.
That's Caesar's death.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So, but it's funny. They usually Pi Day and Ides of March come in like they're back to back, and it's like they call it it's like nerd holiday weekend, because they're back to back in terms of like celebrate. Anyway, National Peanut Lovers Day too. Celebrate peanut and peanut products, but I guess 1/3 of the population can't eat peanuts these days. So,
only country in the world, I think, right?
Is it
has
really?
Peanut allergies. It's crazy.
Yeah.
No other countries have peanut allergies.
Yeah. Yeah. But Mr. Fun also mentioned, and this is the big one this weekend, is celebrating St. Patrick's Day, which is actually like a very fun holiday. I think it's one of my favorites. Here's a question. Why is it that St. Patrick's Day is typically celebrated on the weekends, but it falls in the middle of the week? Does anybody know why that is?
Why it falls in the middle of the week?
Yeah, it's like
it's the same day. It's the 17th of March every year.
So you're saying every 7 years it's on the weekend, essentially?
It should be, right? Yeah. It should.
I don't ever remember St. Patrick's Day being on the weekend, but maybe so. But anyway, I think when it happens in the middle of the week, it's actually good because you can celebrate it before and after.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember ever celebrating it not on St. Patrick's Day. I always thought it was always on.
Me too.
Whatever day of the week it fell on.
Yeah. The most popular girl at St. Patrick's Day, Erin Go Braless. Erin Go Braless.
Braless, that's good.
Don't they say that? What does that mean?
Erin Go Bra?
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually don't know what it means, and I could look it up while we're sitting here.
Look it up. I think it means happy St. Patrick's Day, but something to that effect.
Go ahead.
62% of Americans celebrate St. Patrick's Day each year. 76% of Americans say they celebrate in the weekends around the holiday in some way versus during the week. 80% of the celebrators wear green on the holiday, and 29% of people go to a bar or restaurant to celebrate. So that's pretty good. So generating $7.2 billion on St. Patrick's Day. which is pretty crazy.
So Aaron Go Bra is effectively a saying in Gaelic about allegiance to Ireland. So it's basically, it's Ireland forever is one way it is translated.
Yeah, and like there's a beer sales during the week of St. Patrick's Day rise 174% compared to normal week. So 13 to 14 million pints of Guinness are consumed on St. Patrick's Day as expected. So yeah, I mean a big day for partying.
What are your films? I am not Irish. Mr. Fun is not Irish. Lucky, you Irish?
Part
You're
Irish.
Yeah,
not
the requirement to wear green. If you're not Irish.
Gotta wear green.
Do you?
Gotta wear green. Everybody is Irish on St. Patrick's Day. In fact, I think they should make us change our names on St. Patrick's Day to an Irish sounding name. I want to be Pat McGroin. I want to be Pat McGroin on St. Patrick's Day. Call me that.
Okay. That's pretty good.
I was like, okay, well, he's going to pull a name out like Shaban, Fergus.
I know a guy.
That's a great.
Yeah, I know a guy who he sits at like picnic tables and stuff. He's Irish on St. Patrick's Day. He's Patio Furniture. Pat.
I knew where that. I knew.
All
where
right, Pat
that
McGroin's much better than that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's right. So
okay. All right, here we go. To close out our St. Patrick's Day segment, we are going to do our host draft segment. To close out St. Patrick's Day, we're going to do a host draft segment recap, and we're going to do today best green foods. Okay. All right. So Mr. Fun's going to go first. Biff's going to go second, and I'm going to go third. We're going to do a snake draft, pick 4 things, and we're going to evaluate who basically has the best four best green foods.
What
All
do
right,
you do,
Mr. Fun, go ahead.
Yeah. What do you do like in sports when you like register or whatever, like you keep playing the game? Oh, you protest. Is that right?
Right.
Like the person who writes these things has such an advantage because I'm coming in late. I got to come up with green foods.
I gave you forewarning, so go ahead. Green foods. Use your brain.
I'm going to go with the mojito. I'm going to go with the mojito.
Mojito. Is that green?
Okay. Yeah, it's got green stuff in it for sure.
Okay, we'll give it to you. Biff?
All right. Guacamole.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Oh, very good.
And I'm going to double back with salad.
Of course you did. Okay. I guess that's to me. I'm going to go with olives.
Olives? Oh, man.
I'm going to go with green M&Ms and split pea soup.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's very good. So far, I have a theme going on here. I'm going to go with, it comes back to me, I'm going to go with pickles.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Biff, there's no way you're winning this week. All right, so I have mint chocolate chip ice cream and salad. I am going to go, I'm going to take green beer if you guys aren't taking it.
Okay.
Well, that's not really a food.
Well,
it's not.
Is a mojito a food?
You can't buy green beer.
You buy get
green. It? Okay.
I'm going green beer, and I'm going. Okay. I'm going to go green apples.
Green apples.
Yep.
Oh gosh, I am not doing well on this one. I am going to go with limes.
Limes.
I got a drinking theme going.
You're throwing this week's dressing.
No, I'm not. I've got mine's got a theme.
My final one?
Yeah.
I'm buying green tea shots for everybody.
Oh, that's a good one.
Green tea shots.
Okay, so here we go. Mr. Fun's was mojitos, green M&Ms, split pea soup, green tea shots. Pretty strong set of 4 things. I'm going to have to give it to you, Mr. Fun. Guacamole, olives, pickles, and limes for Biff. He's got a lot of
delicious
company items.
Delicious.
But mine are all naturally green. Some of your stuff is just,
mint chocolate chip ice cream, salad, green beer, and green apples. I don't know. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where that's going to.
Wait,
right,
I think the test should be if somebody came to your house and you served them, which house would they be happiest at?
Oh, look, mine's I'm gonna have guacamole with tortilla chips. That's going to be very good.
Where did those come from?
No, but you didn't say you couldn't have other. No. You didn't say you couldn't have other foods.
No, you're eating them with your pickles. You're eating them with.
I'm going to have the best martinis in the world with olives. Right?
What is happening?
Scotty's vodka. This is what you didn't say it was the sole food.
No,
you were going to have, right? And the pickles go great in a Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. And then the lime. By the way, the lime, just to not round it out, is the beer the lime can go into. Right? It's going to be incredible. I'm going to win it hands down.
Okay. Mr. Fun has 2 alcoholic beverages.
Nice.
And an entree, if you want to call split pea soup. And he's got a dessert, green M&Ms. That's pretty strong.
We're giving Mr. Fun a credit for a mojito. Basically, he's got a little bit of mint in a clear drink.
I'm going to be like Biff. I'm going to have Bruce Springsteen serving the mojitos.
Yeah.
I'm going to have the Rolling Stones eating the soup.
I mean, after last week,
Guy Fieri making the soup.
All right, let the audience decide.
All right, here's some honorable mentions: mint Oreos, which was good; green Tic Tacs, sour apple Jolly Ranchers. I had on my list. Edamame asparagus.
Mr. Fun. He has a list.
I know.
Well, I put some thought into it.
It's like a pop quiz to us.
Right.
Green Tic Tac.
All right. I actually did 2 minutes of research for that and popped up. People put dye in their pancakes and they serve green pancakes on St. Patrick's Day. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, that would be good, I suppose, but
not as good as green M&Ms.
Okay.
Do they have? Are there such thing as silly question? Are there green M&Ms?
No, because they make you horny. Don't you remember?
Yeah.
So there's no green M&Ms anymore.
There isn't?
I don't know. I don't think there are.
They may have brought them back. There's no red ones.
This is why the internet was invented.
I know there's green peanut M&Ms to go back to our peanuts. Yeah.
Well, they're starting to take colors out of all the junk food. So
the red dye and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can buy singular green M&Ms. I just don't remember them in a bag of M&Ms. I must have been. So.
All right, so we'll get our poll out and we'll hear what the audience has to say on that. Okay, pivoting. So this week they released the Oceans Calling lineup, which is pretty cool. So that's September 25th to 27th. 40 artists, 3 stages. It is National Ask a Question Day, and Mr. Fun, I want to sort of know why when we threw out, hey, how many of the days of Oceans Calling are we all going to? And you're like, I'm busy in September.
I said, I have no idea what I'm doing in September. I have no idea what I'm doing in 2 days. How do I know what I'm doing in September?
Yeah.
That was my point. I was trying to be funny.
All right. So headliners this year, and Biff, I'm curious which of these days are you looking at? But Dave Matthews and Hootie and the Blowfish on Friday, 21 Pilots, Gwen Stefani, which I'm a big fan of, on Saturday, and then Sunday is Mumford and Sons and Matchbox 20. What's your day you're looking at?
If I look at the Oceans Calling schedule, it's an interesting one. Friday has probably the most appeal to me because I'd like to see Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah,
I think Darius Rucker had been touring on his own for a while. That would be pretty good. Dave Matthews Band, I can take or leave. They're the other headliners. That's the interesting thing about Oceans Calling this year is they have double headliners each night. Before it's only been one band. The thing I really like is OAR and Friends, and that's on Sunday, which is it's kind of their all-star get together. I think that's really cool. So I don't know. At this point, I'd probably hedge to go to Friday, and then that'd be about it. One thing I do know is I can't do 3 days anymore. There's a lot of people there. There's 60, 70,000 people, and it's just a lot to take in. But it's a great thing.
Do all 3 days? How many people do you think do 3? Any idea?
Oh, I wouldn't know. I know that
I think it's a high percentage of people.
Yeah. Lucky's going to come on to ticket prices in a moment, but the ticket price for a 3-day ticket's pretty reasonable, I guess you'd say it is. The bigger issue is where do people stay? Right? You got to stay. You can't stay in southern part of Ocean City. It's just not enough hotel rooms there. But it's very well done. It's the guy that started OAR, right, or is one of the leading founding members. This is his thing, which is it's impressive.
Yeah, I think down in the way they do the Ocean City Inlet for the 3 stages is awesome. To get so many artists there for 3 days is also impressive. I hope that the headliners aren't going, you know what I mean? Like they don't separate them, like because they have the 3 stages and they're pretty far apart. So hopefully it's not set up where you have to either see Dave Matthews or Hootie and the Blowfish. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't imagine they do that. I guess they're just trying to give them equal billing to say, hey, you're going to have your own set time with no overlap. And then it's going to be it's a huge migration between the stages. It's got to be a third of a mile apart. It's a long walk. Yeah. Maybe a quarter mile. It's a pretty long walk, but it's pretty well done. So
do you think they ever invite like MVP guests, like local podcasters, things
radio
like that?
hosts?
Yeah, they do have cooking exhibitions. So they may not have a musical act, but they'll have somebody like cooking some food and like, famous chefs or something.
Yeah, we should commit to going and then we'll interview people. That's what we should do. We should do that.
End of the night.
I'm a big Gwen Stefani fan, so I would definitely like to interview her.
You like Gwen Stefani that much?
Oh, I love her. I saw her. So when I was, before I was retired, I had a corporate event where it was like 750 people and she played and she was phenomenal. I basically stood right up next to her. She was freaking awesome.
Before all her plastic surgery, she doesn't look like Gwen Stefani anymore. She looks more like a Kardashian. So,
but she's athletic too, which I like. She dances great. Which is awesome. But it's funny. So go back to the prices. $7,000. There's a $7,500 package, $7,500 package for 3 days, and you get like golf cart transportation. And I was sort of joking, like, and you get to rides with Gwen Stefani at Jolly Roger. Like, you must get something freaking awesome for that.
So they did it. Now, Lucky, you didn't go last year, did you?
I did not go last year.
So what the transportation allows you to do is, like, one stage, as I said, is a long way from the other stage, and they've built a road on the beach side, a temporary road on the beach side, and you see these people going back and forth in carts. And then they have their own private stage, which is elevated off to the side with basically their backs to the beach, or to the water, excuse me. And so, you could see, look, for some people, $7,500 is a drop in the bucket, right? It could be, it's 1,000th of 1% of their net income, right? I mean, it's fine. Do it if you can. More power to them.
Okay, so also one other music news note this week was and this court case has been going on for a while, but Live Nation basically had been, Department of Justice was basically claiming that they were monopolistic in terms of cordoning off concerts and venues and tickets and artists, and they had all this. They were driving up prices for fans and basically squelching competition. But the DOJ finally settled with Live Nation this week, and they basically said, "Okay, we're going to settle this suit." They basically asked Live Nation to set aside some money to pay some damages, but they basically laid out a couple things around like how contracts with venues are set up. They also want to be able to allow other ticket sellers besides Live Nation / Ticketmaster to sell tickets to these venues, and basically just be more business friendly with the venues and the venues essentially. I can't imagine that it really is going to do anything to squelch competition. Why are prices so high for all this entertainment? I don't know.
Well, let's just go back. We'll come back to that in a second. But who gets the settlement money? Like the $280 million that's set aside, where does it go?
I think some of these other areas that sell tickets. That so they have been like these venues have been basically strong-armed to use Live Nation and Ticketmaster to sell their tickets. There are other channels for selling tickets in different cities. So I think some of the money's going to them. I think some of the money's going to some of these venues. So they're the major claimants, I think, in this.
Yeah, look, I think that the ticket prices have gone up. Live Nation surely has a part of that. They're there to make money. Some proportion of the revenue goes to them. But I read this, which I think plays into it as well, is that artists don't make as much money on the front end of their music. In the old days, a CD was sold for $15. An artist would make $4 or $5 per CD. So if they sold 1 million CDs, they'd make $5 million, right? Today, because of streaming, if they get 17 million listens to a song, they make $50,000. That's the number.
Ridiculous.
So the only way they can really make money is by touring. And touring is like an athlete, right? You got a limited time frame. You got to make your money, right? Between touring and merchandise. So part of it is Live Nation, but part of it's the business model. That performers have to make money somehow. Yeah. And that's what's happening.
I also struggle with this whole thing. Maybe I'm just a capitalist, but if you get 70,000 people to pay a lot of money for tickets, isn't that okay? I mean, isn't it like who's complaining?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Lucky. We can remember this. I think you don't go through Live Nation to Ocean's Calling. I think you go directly to them. So they, in a sense, they've cut out there's other business models, which does say that it's not completely monopolistic. You just have to have a different mousetrap.
Yeah.
But to your point, Mr. Fun, I can't do the math. 70,000 times $300 must be somewhere around $21 million of revenue. Maybe it's higher than that. I can do the math real quick, but it's a big number to spread over 40 artists, which isn't bad. It's a pretty good. Plus overheads and stuff like that.
Yeah, I suspect Live Nation's not going to invite us to be their special guests.
I'm not sure we'd turn them down, Mr. Fun. Let's be fair. Let's keep our options open here.
All right.
Well, Mr. Fun, you talked about if 70,000 people are willing to pay whatever, would you say the same thing if there was one gas company in the United States and they could charge whatever they wanted?
No, because I need gas. I don't need to go to the concert. It's like it's the same thing as okay, I'll talk about it. There's people complaining about the rent cost at Sea Colony right now. And they're talking about being price gouged and stuff like that. And I'm like, these are people who want to go on a vacation. There's a landlord or renter, whatever, it's an owner who says, this is how much I want for my place. And you could say yes or no. I don't have a lot of sympathy for somebody who is complaining about the cost to go on a vacation when they don't have to go to that particular place. That's my thoughts.
The other thing, and part of the settlement, is like the capping the fees. The fees that go on top of what you're paying for the tickets is also out of control. So Ticketmaster agreed to sort of tamp down that. But what's interesting is, so the DOJ settled with Live Nation, but 24 states are continuing to fight in court, and the trial is going to resume next week for these states unwilling to settle. So Maryland is one of those states. Virginia is one of those states. Delaware is not one of those states, but and DC is. So they're still battling on this, because I think the states who represent these other off brand, if you want to call it, ticket sellers and venues. They're still battling. So we'll see how this ends.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know. And I have a couple other things with Biff. I don't know. You ventured back from Florida this week.
Yeah. Well, I had a couple of things. So I drove back from Florida because I'd been in Florida for a few weeks. So I drove down there and I drove back, and a couple observations real quick on the trip. One, Florida, and it's the time of year, I will grant you that. Traffic is awful in Florida this time of year, but also partially because so many people have moved there. You've got businesses exploding. You got a lot of stuff going on. So it's interesting to see the difference in Florida since I've really spent any time there. Orlando is just a disaster when it comes to traffic where we were. But so anyways, I drive up north, and I can't make it the whole way. It's too long of a drive to get from Orlando back to southern Delaware. So I stop in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I get a Hampton Inn. It's where I stay. I like Hampton Inns. Free breakfast. I like a Hampton Inn. Anyways, I pull off the highway. I get to this Hampton Inn in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, which is sort of in the upper third of the state of North Carolina off I-95. And as I'm pulling into the driveway area, the covered driveway area, there's obviously a Hampton Inn employee there, and she looks agitated. She's walking around and she looks agitated. I pull my car in past her. I park my car. I go in, and now she's inside. Related to this, as I'm pulling into the hotel, there was a medical clinic on the right-hand side of the road because there was a hospital there. And there was a guy obviously on drugs wandering around. And he just had that look about him that he was on something. I don't know what drugs it was, but he was on something. I go inside. So the woman in the clerk, who's the one that was standing outside, she comes to help me, and she's standing there. She goes, I told that guy, if he comes near me, I'm going to tase his ass. And she takes the taser, which I think was a cattle prod actually, and zapped it. It's scary. I mean, I jumped back. Like all of a sudden I was going to get tased by this woman who was just ready to go. She was ready to take this guy down if he came on the property again. I was like, this was a first for me. You know,
well,
it was
number one, how much did it cost to stay? How much per night to stay in this hotel?
So that hotel, because I booked it at a rest stop when I was driving up from South Carolina. The hotel cost me all in like $135.
Okay.
Right. It wasn't extremely expensive. So I will grant you that, but it was a last minute thing. They must have had open rooms, blah, blah, blah. So,
and you assumed that the hotel wasn't positioned next to a meth hospital clinic.
It was not
like
high on my list of things to worry about. So anyway, I get my car. I get my key. At this point, I'm committed. I've prepaid for the hotel. I had done that. So I say to her, I go, well, where can I move my car? She goes, oh, if you're worried about your car, she goes, I'll be watching the cameras all night. I'm like, okay. So I go around and I park my car on the side of the building, and she gives me a room which is overlooking my car. I'm on the 4th floor. I can see my car. But as I pull in, the drug guy starts walking towards the hotel. So I'm sitting there and I see him walking. I'm like, okay, I can't open my car because my car is full of 3 weeks worth of stuff. I got things in the car. So I walk around to the other side and I watch through the glass as the guy's wandering around. Another guy pulls up in a white car. They start talking to each other. Oddly, this guy who could barely walk hops in the driver's seat and drives away. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. I was like, what is going on here in North Carolina?
Did you have a good night's sleep that night?
I slept okay.
You know what a cheap motel and tight jeans have in common? No ballroom. No ballroom.
Oh, good one.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Mr.
So,
Clark.
okay. So you stayed at the Hampton Inn in Rocky
Mountain, North Carolina.
Rocky Mountain, North Carolina. And then what? You just in the morning, you just got up and.
Oh, no, I drove. I had to, I did one thing which I actually enjoyed doing. I drove across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, right, which is outside of between Virginia Beach and the Delmarva Peninsula in Virginia. Fog. I couldn't see. They said the speed limit on the bridge was 35 miles an hour. I'm driving over there. I get to the bridge and you can't, and the bridge isn't very high. It's maybe 30 feet up in the air. You can barely see the water. There's so much fog. It felt like if you ever saw Pirates of the Caribbean when they're going through the fog on their boat, it felt like that. It was like I was driving into the ocean. It was crazy. And it's, I don't know, however long it is, 17 miles, that Bay Bridge Tunnel. It was so foggy. It was just crazy to do that. And, you kind of, the whole process of being on a bridge and then going underwater is just amazing to me from an engineering standpoint. Yeah. I find it to be an incredible thing to do every time I go through it. So,
well, I'm glad you survived. And it's interesting you went over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. It is Chesapeake Oyster Week coming up, March 20th to March 31st. And I'm a big oyster fan. I don't know, Mr. Fun Biff, are you guys oyster fans?
I like oysters. A lot.
I used to be an oyster shucker, but then I pulled a muscle.
Okay.
That's good.
It's pretty good.
Well, good.
If you're an oyster fan, pulling your muscle. If you're an oyster fan, be prepared to pay an increase in price this year. Because so many places along the Northeast corridor, even down into the Delmarva area, the harsh winter wreaked havoc on the oyster farms. And this is something I didn't know about until I saw
these are the beds where they've laid beds on in the.
Well, okay, so I found that up and down the Northeast, there's two main ways that people grow oysters.
Uh-huh.
They have them floating in cages at the surface. Okay. And then sometimes in the more cold weather, they sink them purposely and basically tie them to the bottom of the bays ocean. Or whatever these areas are. Okay. So, but what happened was because we had so much ice this year, that the ice flow basically unmoored all of the cages and or knocked them away. And so many of them are gone. Like the farmers who have been, growing these oysters over the winter, they're gone. They've lost so much, especially like in the Long Island, New York area kind of thing.
Wow.
They're like really have lost a lot of their farms, if you want to call it that, just because of this ice.
Wow. That's something. So do you remember, I remember the first time I really ever thought about oysters or growing up and even trying them, which is always a brave experience. I thought oysters were only, and it's changed, you were only supposed to have oysters in months with the letter R. I believe that was the sort of the expression, right? So basically September through April, right? It's changed now. You get oysters all year round now, right? They come from, a lot of them come from the maritime provinces in Canada, right? Or Maine and cold, where it's cold water generally all year long. But you can even, I remember living in California, you can get oysters out of San Diego. And so, which is generally a warm weather place. So I guess it's changed, or was it only for months of R so they could control how many of the oysters were farmed?
Yeah, I think I think it also had to do with how warm the waters were.
Yeah. Or maybe it was a Chesapeake. It may have been Chesapeake Bay thing, right? Because there was a point where they were worried about the crab population and the oyster population, and maybe it was just a way. It's like you can only catch one or two rockfish during certain times of the year.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what it was. It's probably changed.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, the DMV, the Delmarva Peninsula, they had some impacts from this, but didn't have a ton of ice, but it was mostly north of us. But so they have had plentiful oyster seasons last season. So there's a lot, but because of the impact, with all these other areas, in the state of Maryland, they basically extended the commercial harvest season by 2 weeks, and they've also asked for some federal financial assistance to help with the long-term stability of the fisheries, because there's going to be a big demand on the DMV area in oysters this year. So because other areas have had such trouble.
Yeah. Oh, good. So, well, our thoughts are with them. So hopefully they will get through this. So tomorrow is the Oscars, or Sunday. Whenever you're listening to this, you might be listening to this Sunday afternoon, but Sunday is the Oscars in the evening. So I thought, my would you rather question would be movie related. Okay. So here's my question. Would you rather watch a year of movies with the sound off and only subtitles? Or would you rather watch a year of Hallmark movies with the sound on? So what would you rather do?
Mr. Fun, what do you got?
I'm not afraid to admit that I've watched a few Hallmark movies.
Would you watch so solely for an entire year? That's what you're going to watch.
Yeah, I think it would make me crazy to watch movies silently. I think I would go the other way. I would learn to love Hallmark movies.
Okay. Lucky.
Is it because you haven't spent any decent amount of time just reading movies?
Right. And I'm easily distracted, as you may not know. And so whenever I watch like a movie where there's subtitles, like halfway through, I'm like, wait, what's going on? What just happened? I have to like rewind 12 minutes. Like I have no idea. If it's not action packed, I have no idea what just happened for 10 minutes.
Mrs. Lucky is a huge Hallmark movie fan. And I think, but like, I could not watch that amount of Hallmark movies because they're all basically the same thing. Some guy misses the girl, they finally get back together, but then they're dating someone else. And then they finally find, something happens and they get back together, and it happens to be Christmas time or Thanksgiving time or the summer, right around some holiday.
Yeah. So,
right.
So you're going for silent movies with subtitles.
Well, 100%. I think I could survive.
I believe that's what I would go for myself. So, funny story, Mr. Fun. So where we were Lucky and I were staying. There were 8 of us on this trip and golf trip, and it was a big house in Orlando. It had a movie theater. So the movie that was agreed upon to watch was the movie F1, which is the Formula One movie on Apple. And the movie theater had an incredible sound system, like loud as any. I don't know how many seats there were, 8 or 10 seats, whatever there were in this, and they all had recliners. It had the loudest sound system I've ever experienced watching a movie, except for the fact that one night there were 5 guys in there, and 3 of the 5 were snoring as loud as they were louder than the soundtrack. I've never heard such snoring. One, that you hear it over a loud movie like that, and 2, how somebody can sleep through that. I had never experienced anything like it. It was crazy.
Well, it's funny. So I was one of the ones that fell asleep the first night. And we basically, whoever was watching it just stopped the movie, and said, hey, we'll pick up tomorrow. Cause it was basically it was time for everybody to go to bed. But I think we started watching it the next morning at 10 a.m. before I think we were playing golf later in the day. I fell asleep again.
Yeah.
I mean,
it took us 3 separate viewings to get through a 2.5 hour movie because people kept, for some reason, falling asleep. It was just odd to me. So
I think I've told you guys a story where I was hosting a happy hour and I was having a great time and I was indulging in some adult beverages, and suddenly my phone rings. I look down, it's my wife, and I'm asleep in the movie theater across the street from the bar that I was in. I have no idea how I got there. It was one of those movie theaters that has the reclining chairs and they put a blanket on you. I had a blanket on me, reclining. I had no ticket. I don't know how I got in. Yeah. And I was asleep in the movie theater. She woke me up.
That's so funny. So speaking of Mrs. Fun, and Mr. Fun, I'm going to vamp here so you can look for your last joke for the show. Mrs. Fun, who's been helping us out on our social media stuff, again, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, you name it. She's helping us promote the podcast and the radio show. But she has a podcast of her own called Green Living for Real Life. So take a listen to Mrs. Fun's podcast if you get a chance. And then, she can, again, get some listeners that would enjoy that sort of thing, with green being, environmental things like that. So, but please listen to that. So, Mrs. Fun, do you have a joke?
So on the way here, I saw the cutest thing. I saw a family of geese walking across the road, but unfortunately, I couldn't stop in time, so I ran over them. Yeah, it caused goosebumps.
Oh my gosh! So, good. So we were on WGMD's 98.5, the Talk of Delmarva. Again, thank you for listening. Those that are hearing us over the air on the radio, as I said, get to us on all the podcast platforms, on YouTube. Anywhere that you can find us. And if you join our new Laugh Smartly fan page, which is on Facebook, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, you are eligible to win one of our great hats. We will pick a winner for anybody that signs up this week onto the Laugh Smartly fan page. So please do that. And we will pick a winner and send a hat out to you. So good luck on that, everybody. So wonderful. Good to see you guys. Thank you again, everybody out there, for listening.
Mr. Fun.
Until we do it again next time, let me just say thank you and goodbye.
Laugh Smartly is a production of Laugh Smartly Industries. Please subscribe, like, and share wherever you listen and watch us. And we'd love to hear from you, so email us at contact@laughsmartly.com. Thank you again for listening.